I hate having unpopular opinions. The year is 2019. SMG4 has 2 arcs under his belt. One was a nice change of pace that, while not perfect, was a good watch throughout most of it, and the other one was a poor attempt at a dramatic story where Bob gets thrown out of the gang for doing something bad, even though half of the gang have done things far worse than him. But okay, we're on the 3rd arc now, 3rd time's the charm. I'm sure SMG4 will take what he's learned from both arcs and make the best arc out of all 3. Oh wait, because few complained about his last attempt at a dramatic story, he decided to do it again and crank it up to 11 as it went on. This is the anime arc. Now, one thing interesting about this arc is that it's not actually an arc. It's 2. One was, as I just mentioned, the anime arc, and the other was the Splatfest arc. And the guys over at Glitch Productions decided to have both stories run simultaneously and have it be a single arc. And while in theory this could work, sadly the execution was terrible. Why? Because both stories hardly intertwine. They only intertwine once, and that's like at the very end of the first half of the arcs. So yeah, all this decision does is take characters out of a story where they could have a pretty interesting place in it. I'll elaborate more on what I think of this later, but at the end of the day, I think that both arcs should have been their own separate things. But anyway, seeing how this arc is 2 separate stories, and I want to review each story for what it is, not being connected to one another, I'm only going to be reviewing the anime arc portion of the arc in this review. So yeah, this is my review of the anime portion of the arc, not the entire arc. Please keep that in mind. First episode of the arc, Mario and the Anime Challenge, where Mario, Boopkins, and Bob do a bunch of challenges based off of anime. And, much like the Bob arc, it's the first episode that is the highlight of the entire thing. It has a lot of great jokes and makes fun of anime tropes, and yeah, it's just an overall pretty good episode. But in the end, Bob destroys Peach's castle with an anime blast. Next episode, Mario's illegal operation, where Peach bans anime because it's destroying the kingdom. Doesn't the kingdom get destroyed, like, every month or so in the SMG4 universe? Why is Peach suddenly deciding to put her foot down here? But yeah, she makes an elite group to destroy all anime. And honestly, who seriously came up with that acronym? I mean, you know someone's gonna make it. Anyway, through some certain events, Boopkins and Mario get involved with the anime cartel. They get some illegal anime, but the ASS comes in to put a stop to things. Their dealer gets captured, who also happens to be Bob, so Mario and Boopkins decide to help the anime cartel. They become mules for the anime cartel to smuggle some anime into the Mushroom Kingdom. But just when you think they're gonna succeed with their illegal activity, we find that they're captured by... These two are the main reason I put this arc above the Bob arc. They destroy the anime, but Mario and Boopkins get away with SMG4. But soon after, the 3 of them are picked up by the anime mob boss, Francis. He says he'll let the destruction of his anime slide if they help him get someone out of the country for him. And who is that person, you might ask?
Does anyone have a gun?
Did I ever mention that Bob is a great character who deserves more than the pitiful arc he was given? So yeah, because Psycho is anime, that means she is no longer allowed to live in the Mushroom Kingdom, what with the anime ban and whatnot. SMG4 can't believe that the ASS is banning actual people, even though it's only, like, one person. I mean, did Boopkins make more anime girlfriends? But yeah, anyway, SMG4 quits the ASS, but Psycho still has to go.
But we want you to stay!
No, we don't.
Did I ever mention that Bob is a great character who deserves more? So Bob, Boopkins, and SMG4 go to take Psycho to Japan, but Mario has to stay behind and do some jobs for the anime cartel so that he can pay them back for losing their anime. Ooh, I wonder what they'll make him do. Like, maybe they'll have him forge anime? Maybe they'll put up propaganda against the ASS? Ooh, maybe sneak into some government facility and try to steal some anime back. Oh, there's a lot you can do with this anime ban setting. What are they gonna have him do? You're kidding me, right? You have all these jobs that he could do based on the anime ban and whatnot, and the one thing you have him do is run a lemonade stand? And this episode has little to nothing to do with the anime ban storyline. Like, take away Mario's motivation for running the lemonade stand, and this has nothing to do with it. But okay, I'm sure they're just starting small here. I'm sure Mario will do more interesting jobs later down the... Oh, son of a... So yeah, Maggie comes in, takes him, Tari, oh yeah, by the way, Tari was in the video, and Luigi off screen, and takes them off to do the Splatfest storyline of the arc. And we won't be seeing those characters again in this storyline of the arc until the final episode. Alright, time to elaborate on my point from earlier. Now, I don't think it was a good idea to have these two stories run simultaneously. I mean, you can have different sides of the same story run simultaneously, like, have Psycho and the others still in Japan, getting help to stop the anime ban, while Mario is helping the anime cartel back in the Mushroom Kingdom. Like, that could work. But because the Splatfest storyline has nothing to do with the anime ban, it just feels like they took away characters from a story where they could have had an interesting place in it. Like Mario, as I said before, you could have had him do stuff for the anime cartel, like, as I said before, helping to retrieve anime and whatnot. Luigi and Blue Gamer Girl Luigi, you could have had them as support characters, I guess. But Meggy? My gosh, talk about missed potential for this arc. Now keep in mind, this is back when Meggy's character was in her prime. Like, she wasn't the Mary Sue she was in the beginning. She's not the bland and nice girl that she is now. No, this is back when her character was at her fullest. One thing to note about her is that she hated anime. So, I think something like that could have a bigger part in an anime arc. But I kid you not, her hate of anime was only brought up in a throwaway line. I mean, you could have had her as like an elite member of the ASS, trying to stop Mario from bringing back anime. She could have some inner turmoil where once she learns that Psycho had to be banned, like she could, have to choose between her friends and her hate of anime. It could be some really interesting stuff. But because she and some other characters are gone, we're never going to see that happen. These stories would have been fine and arguably better if they had just been kept separate. Focus on what you can do with this story in this setting, and then focus on the second storyline as its own thing. But okay, let's just get back on track here. Next episode, the Japan trip. We go back to Psycho and the others as they travel through Japan. And yeah, we do get some pretty funny moments in this. Like, they do take pretty good advantage of the characters they have. Glad they're taking advantage of the ones they still have in this arc. Anyway, at some point in their trip, they come across the famous artist, Axel. And I suppose while I'm on this bit, I might as well give a mini review of Axel in this. Axel's a neat character. He has a bit of pride in his actions, he has a bit of snark, he has some anime-like tendencies. I mean, it's all pretty good stuff. It's just a shame he got so flanderized after this arc ended. I mean, now he's just a nice dude who occasionally watches anime. But yeah, Psycho wants to talk to him, and based on her body movements, you would think she believes that he created her, but we already know how she was created, so that doesn't make any sense. And it seems the writers realized that it made no sense, because by the time they actually get to him, they completely changed their motivation for talking to him. Now they want to talk to him because they want him to help them unban anime back at the Mushroom Kingdom. He agrees, and they head back to the Mushroom Kingdom. Then Meggy's boot camp and the Mario Showdown happen, but I count those as the Splatfest story, so you'll have to wait till the next video to hear my thoughts on them. We then get to the final episode of this storyline. Mario saves anime. Gee, I wonder what's going to happen in the end. So yeah, anyway, now everyone's back in the Mushroom Kingdom, now with Axel, and Axel now has a plan to get anime back in the Mushroom Kingdom. Using his magic pen that can bring anime to life, he plans on making anime to show how good anime is to bring it back. Okay, that sounds like a fairly decent plan. But his anime won't be powerful enough with just regular ink, and since it was built with Inkling ink in mind, what with Axel living in Inkopolis, with all the Inklings and whatnot, he says that he'll need Inkling ink to have it run at 50%? Wait a minute. If the pen was made with Inkling ink in mind, then how does it only make it run at 50%? How does he know there's a higher percentage? Like, I know this seems like nitpicking, but, this is gonna come back later, and it's only gonna get more confusing, but I'll save that for my next video. So anyway, Axel says they're gonna get to Peach to show her how good anime is, but they cannot use violence, since that's what got anime banned in the first place. Makes sense. So after beating up the guards, knocking them off the roof, and blowing a hole in the castle, they head to Peach. But surely it can't be that easy. I mean, she's in a room with no security or anything. Surely this is like a trap or something, this can't be the end of it.
I can show you the world of Japanese animation.
A whole new world where transform a media. When I watch I sure can see
That now I'm in a whole new world with you.
anime is awesome.
That's it? You had all this build-up to this moment? And the climax is a terribly sung musical number? Well, add that to the missed opportunity counter. So, yep. With one terribly sung song, and yes, I know it's meant to be terribly sung, but it's still a lame climax, Peach lifts the anime ban and all is saved. Except for Chris and Swagmaster's job, they're now jobless again. But yeah, everything goes back to the way it was, and that's essentially the end of this storyline of the arc. Now, what do I think of this storyline? Well, they do handle things better than the Bob arc, but that's only because they rushed things so much it feels like they weren't even handled at all. It honestly feels like they rushed through this storyline just so they could get to the second one. And it's a real shame too, because I can see a lot of potential in this setting. But because the characters who are still in that setting jumped ship early, it all feels like it went to waste. Had they had focused solely on this storyline, I'm sure they could have done a lot with it. But okay, we got the second story to review now, and seeing how they screwed over this storyline for the sake of this one, does that mean it's better than this one? Well, the good news is, I do think the next storyline does take better advantage of the characters and setting. The bad news is that it still hits some pretty low lows. Hey, wait. Let me explain my reasoning. In the next video. Tune in next time.